What up, guys? Welcome back to the Top Day Gaming channel, and today we're gonna have the first round in the 1K tournament of Pokemon that came up last Saturday. And yes, I'm a little bit late, I know, but we're gonna be taking a look here to Victini Vmax versus Control, a very annoying deck to play up against, and we're gonna be taking a look here, and I hope you guys enjoyed. It's quite pretty long. It's 15 minutes, so I'm gonna get started right now and enjoy. Over here, my opponent starts with Marshadow, and I started with Rapidash. And let's see how it goes, because at this moment here, I do not know what my opponent is playing. I think that he's playing a Shadow Rider, so because of the Marshadow, the Shadow Rider with the Calyrex thingamajiggy. But I'm going there, discarding the Quick Ball, playing the Quick Ball, discarding Gidachi, and getting that sweet Victini. Telling my opponent that I'm going back in, playing another Quick Ball, probably discarding Quick Ball, discarding the Pokemon Communication. Let's see what else we get from here, and we are gonna get a Crobat, so we can draw more cards. Probably that energy will be going into the Rapidash, if I'm not mistaken. Or maybe it will go into the Victini. I think it will go to the Victini because we started first. So, yeah. No. We're going to the Rapidash. And then we play Giant Hearth, thinning our hand, and drawing 5 brand new cards. There it is, a third Quick Ball, discarding that Welder to get a GG. Don't worry, we have a secondary Welder in hand, so hopefully if my opponent does not play Marnie, we're in a pretty good spot. But now we know here that our opponent has Quick Ball, Resist Stamp, Chip Axe, and playing a lot of more. And now, this is where the fun begins. Here. My opponent is playing Giant Heart. He does not have fire energies, but that is a free information for your deck. You can see what you have priced and what you don't, and then it gives you like a feeling to what you what's the route that you're gonna take with it. And like I said, this control deck is like I said, I was not expecting it in the tournament at all. So yeah, it was quite annoying. But there it is, my opponent playing Quick Ball, discarding Excadrill, and getting probably a Dendene. There it is, getting Dendene, and then playing Ordinary Rod, putting that Excadrill back into the deck, and give it a little bit of a shuffle, and did he change? But before that, he's going to play Chip Axe and see what we top in Giant Hearth and Double Energy. And then I shuffle the rest of the deck, and then that Fire Energy will be in the top. And then my opponent playing Diddy Change, drawing brand new 6 cards, and he's going to get that Mumbo Jumbo instead. And he's got a pretty good hand. Look at that PG, and I think he has a Chi-Chi, no, 2 PGs in fact, and a Chi-Chi, and then a double Quick Ball, discarding another Quick Ball, getting that, I forgot about the name of that one, but the evolution is the Excadrill. Yeah. And now you see here how my opponent is having a explosive hand and turn here. That's drawing cards like crazy and getting that energy attachment into that little toe thingy. I forgot his name. I really forgot. So I'm sorry, my Pokemon peeps. But there it is, Pokemon. He plays the Scoop Up, picking up that Marshadow, and now playing Levelable, getting another PG into play. And now he is pretty much set with 3 PGs in play. But then he's going to bump my stadium, making it difficult for me to get energies. And Stellar Wish, drawing a lot more. And getting that hammer, trying to get rid of all of my energies in play. Because right now I haven't checked my hand, but right now we don't have the stadium, and if that hammer hits, we won't have a, and he saves it, right? And then he passes to me, and then flip for the condition of the Chi-Chi, and I draw the energy. Very good, and I have a welder there. Let's see if we do. I think we're gonna be doing welder into the Victini, and then drawing 3 new cards. See if we can get a secondary energy and take the knockout into Jirachi, so we can start taking prices really fast. But our objective here is trying to get rid of those PGs, because that is my opponent's draw engine, and we want to get rid of those. But there it is, quick ball, discarding the Scoop Up and getting that Dendene. Just trying to draw, see if I can get myself a supporter. Even though I have welder in hand, I will try to get something else. And there it is, welder for 1. And there it is, I got the second energy. So that's pretty good. We're going to be taking a knockout in that Jirachi with the energy burst. We do 60 plus weakness, that's 120. Let's see what else we can do here. Because remember, we have Dendena in hand. And also we have a switch, so we don't have to discard that energy into the Rapidash. I think if we leave that energy there, we will set up the Heatran, and I should have used that switch. Don't know why I didn't use it. But yeah, I should have used it. Thank God that we draw there a air balloon, so that way we can attach it into the Rapidash and retreat. But no, we're gonna be super stubborn and discard that energy. We don't need it. And we're gonna be taking our first price. And here is where it gets funky. There it is. My opponent will be getting that top deck levelable, getting him the first stage of PG. I think it's PG Auto, if I'm not mistaken. Yeah, and my opponent is also playing Jesse and James. So this is like a mill control deck, and like I said, I was not expecting this. I was expecting to see a bunch of Shadow Cataracts and also a bunch of Eternities, a bunch of Urshifus, but no. But not this one. Not this one at all. And my opponent playing another Lovable, evolving his second PG Auto, I think it is, or PG, something like that. The Bird. Playing hammers and fails it. Secondary hammer and hits it. And then Rosa getting himself a item, energy, and Pokemon. So he will be getting the, there it is, the energy. There's the Pokemon, sorry, the item and the Pokemon. Benching that little dude. And now playing Ever Incense, getting that Excadrill. I think the first attack for 1 energy is Rototill. I think I'm pronouncing that correctly. If I'm not, I'm sorry. What he does is you pick 4 cards from your discard pile and you put them back in deck. But yeah, trust me, it's quite annoying. It is quite annoying. And my opponent is getting there a ordinary rod and 2 hammers and research. And now we need to start putting pressure in my opponent because he's putting a lot of resources back in deck. In my opinion, I'm not that worried that my opponent discards my energies because I can get them back with Victini. So I'm not that worried about that. But that will mean that I would need to waste 1 turn to get energy back, and then it's complicated trying to fight this deck. And then energy attachment per turn, air balloon. There we're gonna be switching now. G.Chi, Stellar Wish, trying to get a supporter. And there we have the switch. Trying to see if I can play, because I'm trying to reuse the ability of Victini. Remember, we already have a switch in hand, so we're gonna scoop it up, switch, and see if we can get ourselves. And I think there's a boss's order, so that's pretty good. Yep, getting that boss's order, getting a little bit of a shuffle. And now the question is, do we have a secondary switch or a secondary scoop up to get that Chi out of the active spot? Yes, we do. Look at that. Beautiful. And then promoting that Victini again, bossing that Pidgeotto and taking a knockout there with the energy burst, taking my second prize. And let's see how my opponent does here. Airmail for first airmail. Picking up, I think, a Chip Axe, if I'm not mistaken. Hammer number 1, and it hits. Another energy that bites the dust. Another energy attachment into the other one, and Rototile again. So, like, my opponent is not that worried, due to the fact that he's not gonna take no prices, and if I'm taking prices, I'm only taking 1 at a time. So my opponent has a lot of time to get set up pretty quick. You'll see. Putting that lovable scoop up, hammer, and PG back into the deck. And that will be a pass for my opponent. And now let's see how we respond. And thank God we have another energy in hand. Bravo. And another boss's order from my part. Waiting there for my opponent to give it a little bit of shuffle. And then we're going to be taking another knockout and disrupting my opponent's chance of drawing a lot of cards. And my opponent has a Reese's Stamp, Chip Axe, Path to the Peak, and yeah, all of those. Let's see what my opponent does here. He's going to be using the Vertical attack again, putting 4 more cards into his deck. You know, we get rid of his PGs and he's going to get them back no matter what. And then we draw again. I think that is Volcanion hitting the bench. And another boss's orders in hand. That was back-to-back boss's orders. It is amazing. There it is. Wow. Look at that. Pretty good from my end. Taking 1 more prize, and then We just had to take 2 more knockouts and we win round number 1. It's best of 3, by the way. I'm just winning the first match, not the first round. My opponent playing the lovable, getting another PG. My opponent has Reset Stamp and Chip Axe. If he decides to play that Reset Stamp, putting my hand into 2 plus deciding whether or not I get a a 4th Boss Sorter in play, because this list of Victini plays 4 Boss Sorters. So let's see if we can get it going here. No, my opponent will be doing a Rototil again. And with the Energy Burst attack, I can't knock out that Excadrill due to the fact that he has 120 HP. And all I'm doing here is 90 HP. I will need to welder into the active 2 more energies and 1 per turn, so that way we are guaranteed to take a knockout. But I do not think that I have a welder in hand. Let's take a look here, see what we do. But we have a stadium, and well, we're gonna get that scoop up, taking out that Volcanion, discarding Victini, getting 2 more energies. So now we're gonna be taking a knockout here. Because we have Heatran, we can do 130, and we don't have to rely on the welder that much. So all we need to do is energy attachment per turn and switch them out. And 130, taking 1 more prize card, putting a lot of pressure into my opponent and spitting out the ability. That was a very good game, and there it is, scoop up going to round game number 2. And here is where it gets super exciting, because right now you saw how Victini can win this matchup, but now you will see how tables turn. Turntables. And also I'm trying to see if I can get once I upload all the sorry. Once I upload all the matches that I record, I'm gonna see if I can try to get the top 8 standings or top 10, because before we left Gamers Ours, I forgot to take the picture of the standing, to be honest, so that's my bad. But let's see how it goes. This one we're going second, starting with Volcanion, is super awesome. All we need is an energy. Now let's see here. We're gonna play Pokemon Communication, putting that Crobat back, picking it up, getting it back, and yeah, you know the drill. Trying to thin the hands, so that way we can draw at least a Pokemon and an energy, to be honest, because that's all we need to get it going. But starting with 3 Pokemon Communications, not that many Pokemons in hand, and look at that. Oof. Crobat for 3 and no energies. So we're gonna slap there Victini and the Mew and pass, because all we have is Boss's Orders and Welder, and that's pretty much it. And my opponent just rolls with a research, discarding his hand. Was a little bit doo-doo, but doesn't matter. He's gonna get the sauce right now, and he has Absol and a Lovable. He probably gonna get another PG. No, just gonna get Yudachi. So that way he can retreat. He's taking a look into the deck, see what he has prized and what he doesn't. And even though if he prized a key card, he has that little card right there at the bottom. I think it's Piona, if I'm not mistaken. So he can take 3 cards from the prices and then switch them out. Some weird shenanigan like that. It's a very cool supporter. And my opponent retreats Stellar Wish, getting another Lovable and getting the PG there. See what else my opponent plays, and that Absol, making it harder for us to retreat. And we top deck a Scoop Up. All we have to do is pass because we do not have an energy, and our hand is, we are pretty stuck. We do not have a Quick Pull, so that way we can search for a Dendene and try to get the cards that we need. But yeah, it's not looking good for me here, having a bad start. And my opponent playing another research, discarding his hand, thinning that deck, getting his all the cards that he needs. Right now I think he needs another PG and then Stellar Wish before that. Let's see if he gets, there it is, a hammer, but I don't think he really needs it. It's kind of obvious. But it's better to have it in hand and not needing it than needing it and not having it. Quick balling the Boss's Orders, getting the 3rd PG. And by now my opponent is halfway his deck, and look at that, Rapidash top deck with nothing we can do because we had to discard all our Pokemon communications super early in the game, trying to have like a turbo start, but we didn't. It was very dodo. And Airmail number 1, Airmail number 2, and Airmail number 3. And Stellar Wish. Look at that. Scoop Up. And probably he has energy. I don't think he has energy now. Yeah, he knows. It's like draw pass, and he top stacks the energy. Look at that, beautiful. Airmail number 1, Airmail number 2, and Airmail number 3. We are very bad, and giving my opponent free passes is not quite good. Because my opponent needs a lot of key elements to to make his deck work, and to actually make the deck control and know what I'm gonna play, know what I'm gonna top deck, and all that crap. But my opponent's gonna be playing Rototil, getting energy stamp and double Jesse and James back into the deck, and it's gonna be like super easy to get him back because I haven't gotten rid of those pesky birds, but the hand of my opponent was pretty big, so we reached a stamping to see if we can disrupt my opponent just one more turn. But as you can see here, I have had 5 turns where I am not doing absolutely nothing due to the fact that I haven't drawn a energy or a stadium or a quick ball just to get out of this bad break. And it is quite a pickle. Quite a pickle indeed. But control deck, look at that. And now we need to discard 2 cards from our hand. My opponent does not choose, we choose, and we're gonna get rid of that Rapidash and Scoop Up, and my opponent's gonna be playing Palpat, bringing back those Jesse and James and Buzz's Order, and also doing a Rototill, putting putting 4 back into the deck, Palpat, Scoop Up, Ordinary Rod, and Reese's Stamp. But yeah. And like I said, all I did was draw and pass. Because my hand is doo-doo. It is a doo-doo. Legit, it is trash. It is atrocious. Sorry about that. And having a little bit of a dry throat here. But you know, trying to keep up with the airmail shenanigans, because it is playing up against a deck like this. It requires to keep up with everything, because my opponent is like drawing 3 new cards, doing a bunch of stuff, putting supporters back. It is a rice with beans. But yeah, that is. And like I said, like I don't know how many turns we have just passed, because we can't do absolutely nothing. And I think here is where we top deck an energy, but by now it is way too late. It is extremely too late. We can take a knockout here, because we're only doing 90 damage into the active, and my opponent can easily just get them out. And trying here, debating whether or not I discard this switch, because I really need it, but I also need more energies, and I need to thin the deck so I can draw better. Also, we play 4 scoop ups and 4 switches, so hopefully, but I think I'm already down 2 scoop ups, if I'm not mistaken, because we had to discard them with Jesse and James. So yeah, not looking good here for me, to be honest. And I think that's all we can do. I think it's just a sad, again, another pass. And airmail number 1, airmail number 2, and airmail number 3. Oof, crushing hammer coming in clutch. Let's see, and he hits it. No, all that effort and struggle to get energies, and my opponent just easily takes them out. And I'm just gonna discard 2. Why am I discarding 2 fire energies? Well, because I can get them back with Chi-Chi. I mean, not with Chi-Chi. I can get them back with Stellar Witch. What am I talking about? Spreading Flames. That's it. That's what I need. That's what I meant. That's what I meant. I'm sorry. We can get them back with Spreading Flame and just spread a bunch of energies on the board. So that way, when we need it, we can retreat and promote, retreat and promote, you know, and try to take knockouts here. And then we have a switch, and now attach energy per turn. And I think we are going to do that Spreading Flames. And yeah, that's what we're going to be doing. Spreading Flame, putting 1 into the active, 2 into the active, and 1 at bench. What I should have done here is actually put 1 into the Mute, 1 into the Corbat, and 1 into that Volcanion. Or 2 into the Volcanion, so that way we can do 120 into it. But you know, there it is, Boss's Orders, the Crobat. That's why we needed that energy attachment there with the ability. And right now, I haven't noticed that there's Absol in play, so I can't do that due to the fact that there's an Absol there. Beautiful indeed. and all I have is a Buster Sorter. So what are we gonna do? We're going to be doing quick ball, discarding the Buster Sorter, and drawing the Dendene. Let's see. See, it's like we're so limited to what we can do, and also we need to save the Buster Sorters. That's what we need to be doing. Saving resources here as much as we can, but we're trying to get that Absol into the active, attachment per turn, and then quick ball trying to get the Dendene. Cool beans. But are we going to be able to smack that Absol into smithereen? Yes or no? I don't think so. But let's see how this plays out. And then, did it change for 6? I don't think we got the cards that we needed. And just that, like that, we're going to be passing. And Crushing Hammer coming in clutch, but failing to disrupt me more than what I already have. And he has Scoop Up in hand. Oh no! Scoop Upping that Absol and getting that Rototil into the that Excadrill, sorry. And then researching, and now my opponent has not 1 but 2 more hammers in hand. And that airmail ability is annoying also. If we had, I think it is Wheezing, we would have put a little bit of pressure there, but we don't have Wheezing. And double hammer, that's the 3rd hammer that he plays, and he fails, so that that's actually pretty good news for us. And Rototil coming in, putting not 1, not 2, but 3 hammers back into the deck, and there it is. We're gonna be playing Marshadow, discarding the Stadium, hard retreating that Crobat for 2 energies due to the fact that Absol is stupidly annoying. And doing 3, 6, 9, 120 knockout, taking our first prize after 27 turns. And my opponent getting with the ordinary route 2 Pokemons, 1 energy, and you know, getting the Sausage Staff back into the deck, so that way he doesn't lose his recycling energy system. You know, because I remember back in the day when we had Oranguru with the attack, I don't remember what attack was, but it allows him to do the same thing. But Rototil is even better because it allows you to get 4, not 3, 4 cards from the discard pile. And I think Oranguru, I think it was supporters, if I'm not mistaken. Rototil, Excadrill with the Rototil attack allows you to put 4 cards. It doesn't matter if it's energy. It doesn't matter if it's a stadium. It doesn't matter if it is a support. It doesn't matter if it is a freaking Pokemon. You can put them back. And now that I took a prize, my opponent can play that Lieutenant Surge. Lieutenant Surge playing Buster Sorter, and he has a chance of playing another supporter. Which I think, oh no, he's not gonna play another one, but he's going to be doing Rototil, putting Palpat, Ordinary Rod, Path of the Peak, and Jesse and Jane. No, another Buster Sorter back into the deck. Beautiful. And there it is, a draw. We have a switch, so that's pretty good, if I'm not mistaken. If I'm not mistaken, I think that's what we draw. We're gonna be putting energy into the Dendene, and yeah, so we have switch in hand, so that's pretty good. We're gonna switch, promote, getting that Victini back in, and taking my secondary prize. But by now, it is too late. It is far too late. My opponent evolves, Ordinary Rod, putting those that I already killed back into the deck. Oh no, when will this cycle end? I don't think it will. And now my opponent is gonna be playing those. No. Resist stamp first? Yep. A resist stamp and hammer. Hammer number 1 hits, getting rid of that energy from the Dendene. And hammer number 2 fails. And then research, drawing 7. Beautiful. And then airmail number 1. Airmail number 2. And airmail number 3. He already, remember when he did the ordinary rod? Well, guess who's back, baby? A little baby Excadrill. And Path of the Peak, just in case if I have another weird Pokemon that allows me to draw energies, you know, with those power draw engines. And my opponent will be doing another, again, Rototil, putting Jesse and Jane, Resist Stamp, Ordinary Rod, and Hammer back into the deck. And by now, look at that, all those disgusting energies in the discard pile. I'm thinking here, if I do Spreading Flames again, it's gonna be some weird shenanigans, to be honest here. Because it's either we take more prices or we spread and we get stacked. So we're gonna be doing Spreading Flames, putting 2 into the Dendene and 1 into the Crobat. My opponent draws, and he has airmail number 1, airmail number 2, and airmail number 3. And evolving Excadrill, Path of the Peak, bringing Mew back into the active, and Rototil, put in Fione, or I don't know the name, Peonia, into the deck, Boss Order, Lieutenant Surge, and Hammer. Tap, and all I do was pass, due to the fact that I can't do nothing. I don't even have an energy to attach into the Mew, and I can, like, you know, spread. But yeah, like I said, it is quite annoying. And there it is. My opponent draws 3 from the prices. Now he looks what he has, and then he puts 3 cards that he doesn't actually need back in. You know, but I think he only grabbed 1 from those prices that he switched. And then Rototil, put in Pelonia, I think it is. I don't know. She has a weird name. Scoop up Jesse and James and Resist Stamp. And all I do is pass, because my opponent has me here on the ropes. Airmail number 1. Airmail number 2. Airmail number 3. And let's see how it goes. Resist Stamp coming in clutch. So now you know what's about to happen. Jesse and James for 2. Boop. Dee-doo boop. And Jesse and James for 2 more cards. Giving me a 0 hand in hand. You know, quite the pickle. And now all my opponent can do here is, all he needs to do is just chip axe, control what's coming, and then Jesse and James, you know, that is how the deck works. It is, like I said, it is quite annoying. And at the same time that my opponent decides what cards come into play, at the same time he's getting rid of them. Because right now, yeah, I only have 1 card in hand. But all my opponent can do here is Resist Stamp, get me to draw 4, and then playing Jesse and James, making me discard them, like getting rid of them. And like I said, Chip Axe coming in clutch, deciding what I will be drawing and what not. And there it is. I think it is Rototil put in. I forgot to see what he put there. But yeah, all we can do is tap and quick pull. Let's take a look here what we have and what we don't. Either way, my opponent's gonna get rid of the hand, so might as well and give it a like a checky here, and then try to grab a Jirachi. I think the Marshadow already got discarded. That's why I didn't grab it to get rid of that stadium, because I know that we play two Dendenes. But at this point, I think the reason why I grabbed Jirachi was because Dendene, my second Dendene, is price. And like I said, from now on, all here is going downhill. My opponent playing Chipchi Axe, controlling, like I said again, what goes in hand. And yeah, Jesse and James discarding like a gazillion cards. My hand goes back into zero. And over here is like depression. And then my opponent playing Palpat. And then Rototil putting Palpat back. And Chipchi Axe and Reese Stamp and probably a hammer. Nope, Jesse and Jane to keep the loop going. And all I can do here is tap, pray, and pass. And there it is, airmail number 1, airmail number 2, and airmail number 3. And back it again, Lieutenant Search, I think. Yeah, some weird order, but it is what it is. Chip Chick Axe controlling was like right now it doesn't matter what he puts on top, because either way he's gonna get rid of it eventually. So my opponent will be doing Rototil, putting 3 hammers, no, 2 hammers, the weird supporter, and Chip Chip Axe back into the deck, and that's pretty much it. And all I can do here is just look at my depression, counting how many cards I have left, just to see how much I have, and also checking how many energies I got left. So if eventually I draw into a switch, I can, put energies, or retreating, or do that weird shenanigan with the energies. And my opponent here playing super fast because the timer is running low, pretty low. Chip Chip X going in clutch, putting that quick ball in. But like I said, it doesn't really matter what he brings, because I also don't think that I have more energies in the deck. And Rototil, Jesse and James, and there he goes. Drawing. My opponent played there double Jesse and James. That's why I got rid of those 3 cards. And over here I am. It could see that I'm stalling, but I'm not, because legally I have 15 seconds to make a play. So that's what I'm doing here. I'm counting to 15 and then passing back to my opponent. Just hoping they call time around, because that's the only way I could win, to be honest. So yeah, that's pretty much it. So if you see that I'm like tapping on the table and just pausing for a minute, it's because I'm counting to 15 and then passing. Like I said, it's just totally legal to do it. Why? Because you have 15 seconds to make a play. So please don't roast me down below in the comments. And there it is. Yep. Counting. And pass. There it is. So if you see, like I said, I repeat again, it is legal to count to 15 and then pass into your opponent. At this point in the game, we have a judge next to us. So that way, that's why the judge is not giving me warnings. It's not saying anything due to the fact that I'm like, doing that legal move. not doing nothing wrong. A little bit of confusion there because he resisted me to 4, then Jesse and James discarded it all, uh, and yeah. But yeah, it gets confusing. Eventually, it gets confusing playing control. You know, and just looking at everything and just yeah, you have to have a super brain just to keep up with this loop. It's like an eternity loop of control, and then at the same time you're milling. Bell Bella and Bryce, man, got banned, but you have Jesse and Jane. And there it is. I'm waiting, tapping to my opponent, and there it is. You see the fingers that I'm tapping. Again, I'm just counting to 15 and passing to my opponent. That is pretty much all, because right now the hand that the card that I have in hand is dead. This is the dead card. There's no need for me to look at it. There's no need for me to do anything, and so I'm just praying and hoping that my opponent decides not to play Chip Chip Axe, and I get to draw a switch, but I don't think that's gonna happen. Because you see here that my opponent, as soon as he plays the Chip Chip Axe, he puts it back in the deck. And there it is, the legal pass. Airmail number 1, airmail number 2, and airmail number 3. So yeah, the same type of depression that I'm feeling right now. A couple of 4 more players did it, plus another one, Kiko, on the top 8, because as you can guess it, in this deck, Excadrill control made it to top 8. You know, spoiler warning. But there it is. You can see how annoying control it is. For some people it's super fun, but unfortunately for your opponent that is suffering internally there, it's not quite good. But yeah, I think what I should have done when I took like 7 turns just to draw a energy, or just to draw something in general to get me out of the breaking zone, I should have scooped there and go to game number 2, and then hopefully game number 2 would have been better. But you know, like I said, it doesn't matter. My opponent got me here into a loop, reset stamping me into 4, and then you know 3 cards left into the deck, so you know that what's gonna happen. 1 more reset stamp, 2 more Jesse and James, and pass you lose. So yeah, and I think let's see how much left we have. We have 2 more minutes left in the game, but the timer is about to run out also, so there's nothing I can do here. Like I said, I was trying to legally stall my opponent, but eventually there's nothing that I could have done to but like I said, if I would have scooped up the game and go to game 3, that will probably be a better scenario for me. Then yeah, but right now all my opponent is doing is just pass, and you lose, bye bye. But yeah, that's pretty much it. That's pretty much what I can do. And there it is. Pass, draw. I just count to 15 and pass, I lose. Yep, and now we go to game number 3, but by now we give a little bit of a shuffle into our deck, but by now the timer is like 2 minutes or 3 minutes. So is this matchup ended up in a tie, you know, because there is, like I said, there's, if I would have scooped the game and go to game number 3 early when I was breaking, probably there I would have a probably a good or better chance to defeating my opponent, which was playing control. And like I said, control decks are annoying. Playing locally every week on 2 different stores gave me like a feeling of just like what I was gonna count, like what I was gonna see in this tournament. I was prepared to see Decidueye, Inteleon, Shadow Calyrex, Eye Rider, Urshifu, Eternatus. Those were the only 5 that I was counting on encountering. Never pass for my beautiful head that Excadrill control was a thing. And guess what? It is. It is a very nasty thing. And yeah, that's all we can do here is just play out the little minutes that we have and just call it a tie, because I won game number 1. Game 1 was super amazing, super good, and there it is, a check from my opponent, and that's pretty much it. Nothing else we can do here, but hopefully it'll get better for me and I can actually play the cards and not get control that bad. But I hope you guys enjoy this epic journey of controlling, and if you did, leave a like, subscribe if you're new to the channel, and I'll see you guys on the next round number 2. Hopefully we can do a little bit better than this, but yeah, my opponent here, I think he is one of the world champion. He has won a couple of worlds, Pokemon World Championships, and he's a very good player, as you can see. But yeah, and like I said, as a reminder, I was doing my 15-second legally pausing. There was a judge there, and yes, you have 15 seconds until you make a play. There just was nothing I could do. But it was hell of a fun. It was a little bit of a headache trying to play with this up against it, but like I said, it was like, for next time I will be better prepared if I counter this again. But without further ado, guys, peace out, and I'll see you guys on the next one.